On our third day in Dubrovnik, we decided to do the full city wall tour surrounding Dubrovnik Old Town. There are 3 main entrances to the wall walk. The walls that surround the historic Old Town are 2 kilometers long and takes about 2 hours to walk all the way around. If you do not wish to tour the entire length of the walls, you can end the tour at any of the 3 entrance points. We purchased our tour tickets right inside the Pal Gate, which we're overlooking here. Make sure to keep that wall walk ticket. It gives you free access to the St. Lawrence Fortress and discounts at gift shops. We brought a bottle of water with us for the walk, but there were a few places along the wall that allowed you to grab a drink or even sit and enjoy the view with food. We were able to enjoy both sides of the wall. Several of these homes have small gardens, featuring fruit trees and in some cases vegetable plants too. Kayaks are available for rent by the hour or day at Powell Bay. Interesting Game of Thrones fact, the kayaks stored on the beach at Powell Bay needed to be removed for filming of Blackwater Bay scenes. The kayaking company required the Games of Thrones production to rent all of the kayaks and the tours for all days of shooting, which ended up being several weeks. Now that's a happy outfitter. The section of wall between St. John's Fort and Fort Revelin gave exceptional views of the old port. Notice the individual rooftops in this footage of the city. After many fires, the city mandated in 1272 that buildings were no longer to be constructed of straw. It also required the kitchen must be located on the top floor of the building, since most fires started in this room. In order to prevent the fire from spreading, each building had to have its own roof constructed. There were not to be any adjacent homes sharing the same roof structure, and it would give the residents of the building enough time to evacuate. There were a lot of steps to access Tower Manchetta, but it was worth it. Since Manchetta Tower is the highest point of the wall, we thought it offered the most unforgettable view of the city. Outside the north entrance, there's a ticket office for a cable car that spans the side of Surd Hill. At the top, you can easily walk to the Imperial Fortress. You can also enjoy a drink or meal while taking in the view at Panorama Restaurant. Sunset is the busiest time, so make reservations in advance. As you enter from the north gate, there are quite a few steps to arrive at the plaza. Keep in mind that there are several restaurants and shops located down alleyways, so leave some time to explore this side of the city. Most of Dubrovnik's revenue comes from tourism during the months of April to September. When we arrived in mid-September, we noticed several stores and restaurants were already closed for the year. In discussing the pandemic with locals, we found out that the streets typically have 30,000 more visitors each day than when we visited. For a couple introverts like us, fewer tourists resulted in very comfortable sightseeing and once-in-a-lifetime video opportunities. The lack of tourists also meant that when we visited a restaurant, we were provided personalized service, since in most cases we were the only guests. In fact, one evening storm had rolled in while we were dining on the patio, and our server created a shelter around the table so we could continue our meal. He joked that he was providing extreme service. Let's take a look at some of the culinary delights we experienced in the city. Many of the restaurants used local ingredients, which meant the menu adapted to the fruits and vegetables of the season. The food was so full of flavor. This was one of our favorite restaurants. We had some amazing desserts at Gianni's. In fact, we went there more than we want to admit. On one of our evening walks, we came across a mini symphony playing in front of the Sponza Palace. It was quite nice to see the city lit up at night. It's a new way to see it. Don't let our footage fool you. Not every day was picturesque. We had a few days of rain and stormy seas.